Every era had one. The genius, the general, the fly half who brought it all together. But who was the greatest to do it? We'll list some contenders, but we need you to have your say in the comments below. The player with the most mentions takes their spot in your greatest ever 15, revealed at the end of this series. Let's start with Jonny Wilkinson. Born in 1979 in England, Jonny burst onto the scene as a teen with Newcastle Falcons, but it was the 2003 World Cup that made him immortal. At 24, he kicked 113 points across the tournament, including that famous drop goal against Australia in the final. England lifted the Webb Ellis Cup, and Jonny became a national hero. His right and left boots were weapons, accurate from 50 metres out. He played 97 tests for England, scoring 1,246 points. Injuries plagued him, but he bounced back for the 2011 World Cup, starting every game. Club-wise, he won Heineken Cups with Toulon in 2013 and 2014, retiring at 35 after 1,700 club points. What set Jonny apart? His work ethic. He trained like a machine, perfecting every kick. Fans remember him as the quiet kid who silenced doubters. His mental toughness, visualizing success under pressure, changed how fly halves prepare. Without Jonny, England's golden era doesn't happen. Next, Mark Ella. This Australian Indigenous legend redefined the fly half role in the 1980s. Born in 1959 in Sydney, Mark debuted for the Wallabies in 1980 and captained them by 1982. The youngest ever at 23. He played just 30 tests, but won 25, scoring 88 points. His genius was in his distribution. In 1984, Australia whitewashed the British Lions 2-1, with Mark pulling strings. He led the Wallabies to the 1984 Grand Slam in the UK, beating England, Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. No World Cup win, but his influence was huge. Mark broke barriers as one of the first Indigenous captains, inspiring players like Kurtley Beale. His style, effortless. He read defences like a book, turning scrums into tries. Mark retired early in 1984, but his 1980s blueprint for attacking fly halves lives on. Australia wouldn't dominate later without his foundation. Now, Stephen Larkham. Australia's utility king from 1996 to 2007, born in 1974 in Canberra. Stephen played 102 tests, mostly at fly half or fullback, scoring 31 tries and 581 points. He was the brains behind the 1999 World Cup win for Australia. With the Brumbies, he won 3 Super Rugby titles. What made Stephen special? Versatility. He switched positions seamlessly, always reading the game. Post-retirement, he coached the Wallabies attack. Fans loved his cool head. He rarely panicked. In an era of bash and barge rugby, Stephen brought finesse. His 1999 World Cup medal cements him as a big game player, though injuries cut his peak short. Michael Lynagh steps in next. The Queenslander, born in 1963, dominated the late 80s and early 90s. He played 72 tests for Australia from 1984 to 1995, racking up 911 points, a record until overtaken. As fly half, he led the Wallabies to the 1991 World Cup, their first title. In the final against England, his tactical kicking pinned them back. He scored 12 tries in tests, but his boot was lethal. 6 penalties in one game against the Lions in 1989. Michael's edge? Consistency. He played 167 first-class games, always delivering. His family ties, brother-in-law to Tim Horan, kept him grounded. Retiring after the 1995 World Cup quarter-final loss, he moved to Italy for a season. Lynagh's legacy is Australia's golden generation. He bridged the amateur-pro era, teaching fly halves to control tempo. From South Africa, Naas Botha. Born in 1957 in Pretoria, this Springbok was a 1980s icon under apartheid isolation. He played 28 tests from 1977 to 1992, scoring 312 points. No World Cup, but he led South Africa to series wins over the All Blacks in 1981. His drop goals were poetry. Once from 55 metres against Australia in 1981. Naas kicked with both feet, a rare skill, and his passing was laser sharp. In club rugby with Northern Transvaal, he won Currie Cups galore. What defined him? Resilience. Banned from international play for years due to politics, he still shone in tours against New Zealand and England. Fans packed stadiums for his comebacks. In a divided time, he united fans through skill. His stats may seem low, but context matters. He was a lone star in isolation. Born in 1994 in Pretoria, this 2019 and 2023 World Cup hero has 74 tests and counting for South Africa, with 708 points as of 2025. In the 2019 final versus England, his 2 penalties sealed it. Fast forward to 2023. Another World Cup win, with Handré's boot again decisive. He's kicked 100 plus in each tournament. At 6'4", he's a tank, tackles like a forward, kicks like a sniper. His poise under pressure echoes Wilkinson. Still active in 2025, Handré's chasing another World Cup. South Africa's back-to-back triumphs. He's the constant. Young fans see him as the future, blending power with precision. Phil Bennett rounds out the old-school crew. Welsh wizard born in 1948 in Wales, he played 87 tests from 1969 to 1978, scoring 89 points. As fly-half, he captained Wales to 3 Grand Slams in the 5 Nations. His 1974 British Lions tour to South Africa was legendary. 4 tests, all wins. Phil's game was instinctual, dummy runs that fooled giants, quick taps for surprises. What stood out? Leadership. He rallied underdogs, turning Wales into a force. For many, Bennett represented freedom, the belly that the fly-half wasn't there just to organise, but to inspire. Dan Carter, the Kiwi maestro, born in 1982 in South Island. He played 112 tests for New Zealand from 2003 to 2015, scoring 1,598 points, a world record. 2 World Cups, 2011 winner, 2015 captain and MVP. In the 2015 final, his 19 points, including a drop goal, crushed Australia. Earlier, his 2005 Lions Series masterclass, 33 points in 1 test, stunned the world. With the Crusaders, he won 5 Super Rugby titles. Dan's arsenal? Everything. Banana kicks, cross kicks, flat passes, plus 29 test tries. Injuries tested him, but comebacks defined him. Post-retirement, he played in Japan and France. Dan revolutionized the position. Fitness, skills, and aura. His brain. He's the benchmark. Elegant, unstoppable. Hugo Porta. Born in 1951 in Buenos Aires, this Argentine trailblazer put his country on the rugby map. From 1971 to 1990, he played 58 tests, scoring 590 points. A massive haul in an amateur era. Argentina wasn't a test rugby powerhouse then, but Porta made them feared. His 1985 draw against New Zealand was a statement. He scored all 21 points with penalties and a drop goal. Against France in 1985, he kicked a 60-metre penalty. His vision and passing sparked Puma's attacks, like in the 1987 World Cup. Hugo won no global titles. Argentina's isolation limited that, but his legacy is huge. He inspired South American rugby. Off the field, he was a lawyer, humble yet fierce. Porta's precision and leadership made fly-halves strategic masterminds. Next, Beauden Barrett. Born in 1991 in New Plymouth, this Kiwi dynamo is still active in 2025, with 123 tests and 734 points for New Zealand. A 2-time World Cup winner and 2-time World Player of the Year, Beauden's speed and flair redefined the role. He scored 40 test tries. Electric for a fly-half. Beauden's edge, versatility and pace. He reads gaps like a winger, yet his kicking game, drop goals, chips, delivers in clutch moments. Fans love his fearless attack, though critics point to occasional inconsistency. Still, his role in the All Blacks' dominance is undeniable, and he's not done yet. Barry John. Born in 1945, he played 25 tests from 1966 to 1972, scoring 90 points. Known as the King, Barry was the heartbeat of Wales's golden era. He led them to 3 Five Nations Grand Slams. His 1971 British Lions tour to New Zealand was legendary. 4 tests, 1 series win, with Barry's sidesteps and passes dismantling the All Blacks. At 5'10", he wasn't big, but his vision was unmatched. Barry retired at 27, burned out by fame, but his flair inspired fly-halves like Phil Bennett. His legacy? Making rugby an art form. Fans still talk about his instinctive play, dodging tackles like a ghost. Carlos Spencer, the showman. Born in 1975 in Levin, New Zealand, he played 35 tests from 1995 to 2004, scoring 291 points. No World Cup, but his flair was electric. With the Blues, he won Super Rugby titles in 1996 and 1997, dazzling with no-look passes and chip kicks. Carlos's frame and quick feet made him a nightmare for defences. His weakness? Inconsistent goal-kicking, which cost him starts over Andrew Mehrtens. Still, he changed how fly halves attacked, prioritising flair over structure. Post-Test career, he shone in Europe with Northampton. Fans adored King Carlos for his audacity. He brought rugby to life. Born in Durban but raised in New Zealand, Mehrtens played 70 tests from 1995 to 2004, scoring 967 points. With the Crusaders, he won 4 Super Rugby titles. In the 1995 World Cup final, his kicking kept New Zealand close against South Africa, though they lost. Andrew's strength was his boot, pinpoint penalties and tactical kicks. He wasn't flashy like Spencer but controlled games with surgical precision. Off the field, his wit charmed fans. Critics noted his defence wasn't elite, but his 80% kicking success rate silenced them. Andrew's legacy? Consistency. He set the stage for Dan Carter, mentoring him at the Crusaders. Morne Steyn, South Africa's clutch king. Born in 1984 in Cape Town, he played 68 tests from 2009 to 2021, scoring 742 points. His defining moment? The 2009 British Lions series. In the second test, with seconds left, Morne nailed a 53-metre penalty to win 28-25, sealing the series. In the 2019 World Cup, he was a backup but kicked crucial points. With the Bulls, he won 3 Super Rugby titles. His style wasn't flashy, but his ice-cold accuracy under pressure was unmatched. Fans respected his quiet grit. He retired in 2021, but returned for club rugby in 2023. Grant Fox, the 1980s All-Black anchor. Born in 1962 in New Plymouth, he played 46 tests from 1985 to 1993, scoring 645 points. In the 1987 World Cup, rugby's first, Grant's 126 points led New Zealand to the title. Against France in the final, his penalties and conversions racked up 17 points. With Auckland, he dominated domestic rugby, winning NPC titles. Grant wasn't imposing, but his kicking was lethal, 80% success in tests. His tactical noose, like box kicks to pin teams back, set the All Blacks template. Fans called him Foxy for his cunning. No flash, just results. So, if you had one game to decide rugby's fate, who's your fly half? Who really deserves the top spot? Comment your pick below, and the name with the most mentions earns the title and takes their spot in your greatest ever 15, revealed at the end of this series. See you next time as we get back to the rugby.